Yeah, and that reminds me, there's a couple of drummers that have died that I forgot to, they're in my list too. I mean, there's been a lot of people who died this year already. And she is right. Donald Trump's dad's name is Fred Trump, but his middle name is Christ. So he does have Christ in his name, Frederick Christ Trump. And then his mother's full name also equals 88. So those 88 she was talking about, her name's Mary Ann McLeod Trump. I just see in her bio that she became a citizen of the United States. She's from Scotland in 1942, which means it was 74 years later that Trump became president-elect in 2016. He's going to turn 74 this year. We know it's up with 42 and 74, right? Now you better read that book. That's right at the beginning. All right, let's go out to Denver.
Line unmuted.
Unnecessary airport. What's going on, Denver?
Hey, what's up? It's MrDuffy81 out of Denver. Not a Kobe reference, just my YouTube moniker and year of my birth. But I wanted to touch on that coronavirus, just in case it does become a huge thing and people do start getting sick. There's something called Silver Sol, a structured silver that you can take that stops the mutation of viruses in your body. And you can look up a doctor named Gordon Pedersen, Pederson. He has a YouTube channel, and he has amazing information just for your health in general to combat this toxic world that we live in. Also, there was a Swiss contactee by off-world human entities who predicted the coronavirus by name in 1995, and I've read the contact notes because I know somebody who's in communication with that group of people, and it's just amazing how, just like the gematria, the timeline of this world is playing itself out, whether it's been scripted or it's happening because of the numbers. And I hear everybody mentioning all the gematria numbers, and I'm so interested in your information, and I think the coincidences are undeniable, but there's also that plausible denial where people can say, well, so a ton of people died on this day that's, you know, a ritual day, and it's so dismissible. And I feel like it's important to identify the culprits of, you know, the perpetrators of these crimes, and how do they get away with these things. And it makes me think of the like all the players. How do you get them to throw an interception? How are you getting them to play lax defense? Are they all members of a fraternal order secret society? Are they under hypnosis mind control? And what are your opinions, I wonder, Zach, on those issues?
I think both of those things are entirely possible, and I think another logical and obvious one is the incredible salaries they're paid. Again, I remind people, the amount of money these guys make per game is more than the average working person in the U.S. probably makes, you know, grinding it out for 5 years. So, I mean, these people are paid incredible amounts of money just to play each individual game when you break down their contracts.
That's interesting. There's an ex-NFL player. He was a running back, I think, for the Chiefs. I don't remember. He was on the Confessionals podcast. His name might have been Larry Johnson. I don't follow sports that closely, except like through your channel and such. But, you know, you'd think that somebody would have the integrity to come out and actually speak out about what's going on. So then it makes me wonder, is this the divine language of God playing itself out in the world? Or where do we draw the line between coincidence and things that are being purposefully done and orchestrated? I know that Shaquille O'Neal is a Freemason, member of the secret societies, and he's got all these endorsements and coming out and getting paid all this money. Somebody mentioned to me that Kobe was, and I don't know if he was or not, but it's just, I wonder what the government's hand is, or what the secret society's hand is in all of it combined, how they can get all these people to disappear from Sandy Hook shooting, which didn't even really occur, and they can fake all these things in the news, and then they're faking sports. We have such a scripted reality. It's really baffling to me how it all happens, how there's no whistleblowers who are actually participants. And like I said, how do you get everybody on a defense to let it happen? Or are there just key role players? Just some things to think about, because people just think it's the numbers, but there's also that human element and the participation going on and happening in this, whether it be the referees or the players, or, you know, question mark, who's really behind all this.
It's definitely both. I mean, you can see that it's both just by watching the games. The bogus penalties that are called and not called, the players when they purposely try not to tackle. I mean, there's enough of those highlights to see. And we did just have Larry Johnson on a few weeks ago, and he was forthcoming on some subjects and others not so much. I did notice, again, that interview happened fast. Somebody reached out who was a friend of his and said they could set up the interview, and they did get him on the same day. They reached out to me a few hours before the show. But I just had to look after the show. I had to look, and I was like, oh my God, they got him on 64 days after his birthday. Because again, that's the number I've been talking about the Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs is 64. Now that they scored 31 points in the Super Bowl, they've scored 64 total points in Super Bowls. Again, the Super Bowl was Joe Montana's 64th birthday. Doug Williams, the first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl, 64 years old, and so on and so forth. And then I'm also thinking about how they ended up doing the interview on January 22nd in Kansas City also equals 122. So I'm just like, God, did they set up the interview? Who was that guy that I talked to that set up the interview? Is he like the handler that gets these people to do things by the numbers?
Exactly.
That kind of boggled my mind.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. I mean, do they all have an earpiece in their ear just on the field like, hey, light tackle on this guy or, drop the ball? I just wonder if it's that minute-to-minute, play-by-play control or if it's all talked about ahead of time in the Freemasonic Lodge on Thursday night and then the game happens on Sunday and they're just executing their orders.
They huddle up. They could be like, on this drive, we have to give up 7. On this drive, there needs to be a 42-yard. It could be something like that, man. But we're not going to have those questions until we got a whistleblower that was willing to go even further than Larry Johnson. But I appreciate it, man. Good questions. You have a good night.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right.